This is session 2 of how to turn £500 into £1 million. We're going to look at the art of compounding. We're going to look at the exact numbers and figures and where they come from and the issue of inflation. So just quick recap. From the last session, we looked at our best savings rate on the market is 3.5%. The annualized return for the stock market is 11.82% across the last 90 years. And we saw these two scenarios, savings versus investing, where investing results in a profit of around 1.5 million based on the same number of deposits. This is a compounding chart for your savings account at 3.5%. And now if we compare it to the investing one, you can see it's almost like an exponential increase when it comes to investing based on the same amount of deposits, £500 a month. So where do those numbers come from? What does it actually mean? So this is for investing and these are the exact numbers. So you can see every month we're depositing £500, which results in £6,000 deposit in a year. Now, the art of compounding is you cannot take money out of the account, because once you take money out of the account, the compounding effect stops. Einstein said compounding is like the eighth wonder of the world. And the second aspect of compounding is easy to do, but the reason why people find it so difficult is because you have to have a lot of discipline. You cannot touch the money no matter what is happening, because as soon as you take some money out, the compounding effect starts to degrade. So you can see across the 30 years, we've made a total of £180,000 deposit. And that's not bad across 30 years. However, because of the compounding effect, so this column here is important. You can see because you're not taking the money out. So let's say we go to year 10, we're at £53,800. Now what's going to happen is, assuming that average annualized return of 11.82%, that 53, you're going to make 11.82% of 53,000. And it keeps on going like that until you have 1.5 million pounds profit made. So that is the art of compounding. This is something so powerful, and this is something that changed my life, because once you understand it, there's no getting away from it. It just takes a bit of discipline. Now we get to the issue of inflation. You need to really understand inflation, get to grips with it, because it eats away at your wealth. It's like a secret tax, but no one really understands. So if you gave someone £10,000 5 years ago and you get the £10,000 back, you've actually lost money, because on average inflation has been around the 2% mark, and we'll look at the exact figures. So I like using a Freddo bar as an analogy. Freddo bar is a small chocolate bar if you're from the UK. So you can see the price of a Freddo in 2000s was 10p. Now due to inflation around 2020 it's about 17p. And obviously the cost has increased because the cost of everything increases. And inflation increased the cost of goods and services. This is the UK's inflation rate since 1960, this graph here. And you can see in the late 70s, inflation was close to 25%, which is ridiculous. However, the Bank of England, they want to keep inflation around 2%. Economists think 2% is a healthy rate. So what I've done is I've got everything from 2008, because I think from 2008, a lot of finance changed in a big way after the financial crisis. Banks tightened up. They started getting cleverer about the economy and how to deal with things. So since 2008, the average inflation, excluding 2022, has been about 2.12%, which is almost at the Bank of England's target of 2%. So what this means is, if you had £1,000 under your bed in the year 2000, that £1,000 is equivalent to £1,534 in today's money. So you would have lost £534 if you left that £1,000 sitting under your bed since 2000 to 2022. So you can see how it's a secret tax. It eats away at your wealth. Now what we need to do is include it in our investing versus savings numbers. So again, same scenario, we've got £500 a month for 30 years. The best savings rate we've found is 3.5%. However, this time we're taking inflation, the average inflation of 2.12%. I'm going to exclude the current year because we're not complete the year, and it's a bit of an anomaly this year. So if we minus 2.12 from 3.5, that leaves us with 1.38%. And 30 years of compounding that will give us 222,000, or a profit after your deposits are taken out of account, 42,000. Now let's go to the investing side and see what happens there. So again, £500 amount, 30 years, annualized return is 11.82%, inflation of 2.12%. So if we minus that from an annualized rate, we get a result of just over $1 million, or a profit of 880,000. So you can see the power of compounding and the power of inflation. But the stock market still wins and is much, much better than savings. Savings, you've just barely made it.